Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Just joining. Is anyone getting notification?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Hello, Esther. Thank you for coming back. Darlene, hello. Dee, hello. Zinwe, hello. It's actually here. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So sorry about that. It's the internet. It's actually not the internet. It's actually my device. I think there's something wrong with it. It just locked me out the internet. But the internet in the house was working perfectly fine. Everybody else can use the internet except for my device. I don't know what happened. But I am glad that you're back. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you. What's this saying? Maiwa, you really mean it when you said you're done. No, okay. I didn't do that. I don't have that superpower yet. Okay? I don't have that power to make things. I don't have it. I don't have the power to make things shut down when I speak. Okay? Oh, Innocent, thank you very much. Thank you. Omonike, good evening. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back. We're having, you know what, I like enjoyment too much. I hope enjoyment will not kill me all, because listen, I wanted to say we're enjoying this again. Just this enjoyment that I have in my head. Okay, this is really insightful, rather than say enjoyment. It's not about enjoyment, It's about insightful. So thank you so much for joining us. We're going to continue. I know we've gone way past our time, but hey, it's the last one. It's our last Ask Dr. Sunday. It's the 28th day. So why not? Why not go on as long as we can today? So with regards to the Nigerian Transformation Project, I am done. No, I'm only kidding. If you want more information about the Nigerian Transformation Project, please go to sundayadelajablog.com/Nigeria. You find as many information, detailed information about the project, and also there are two forms on there. One form is for you to join and be part of the project, and the second one is for funding. And remember, the funding are available once Dr. Sunday lands in Nigeria, which we're all open. It will be this year, but don't quote me on it because the government are doing whatever they like. So hopefully this year, but as soon as Dr. Sunday gets to Nigeria, funding will be available. You've heard a lot that he said already today. So the Nigerian Transformation Project is something to get involved in. There's so many opportunities, and there was another opportunity that I opened up today. If you're in the mental health field, yes, that's why I needed to, not mentally ill, mental health field. This is an opportunity for you if you have any plans, or have to set up a mental health mental health facility. Please, thank you. Please get involved. Okay, please. It is absolutely worth it. All right, Dr. Sunday we'll be back shortly, but before, let me just read your comments if I can get to them. Okay, I'll read it on here. I'll read your comments on here, so just bear with me. Yes, we're back. It's up again. The rich and powerful took the network. Somebody said the rich and powerful took the network. God bless. Thank God for you. You're back. We're back. So everyone, come back. Come back. So guys, start sharing so that others can come back. They will know that we're back, okay?
Just go ahead and ask the next question.
So the question is about the rich and the wealthy, sir, which is, you've spoken much about the transformation project and the poor. Please, what is your plan towards the rich, the wealthy? Do you have any program for them?
Oh yeah, yesterday, just a few minutes ago when we were speaking about, my editors, I spoke about working on some books. One of the books that, the way I'm going to address the problem and the question of the rich and the elite in Nigeria, I have a whole program for them. And these programs are put in book form. Unfortunately, the ideas are there, but the books need a lot of editing. The manuscripts are ready, but they need editing. Success was here, but I don't. It's gone out. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's supposed to help me to put order and edit these books. So one of those books is called "The Role of the Elite in National Transformation," because our people have not been addressed as such. Our people have not been told why they have been blessed with what they have been blessed with. And why people in our country, I still live in a country where being educated or being privileged or being an elite is still seen as a privilege. It's still seen as a class thing. We are still living in Nigeria, is still a country whereby to have something or possess something is still seen as a status stuff. So people are not knowing. They don't really know and are not aware of the role and the demands of God and even nature from the elite and the reason why the elite. So the role of the elite has not been well defined. And because it has not been well defined, it cannot be, the problem cannot be addressed. So I'm going to address the problem of the rich and elite in Nigeria through that book. But it's not just a book. If you've read some of my books, you know that my books are not just books. They are like programs. So this book, the role of the elite in national transformation, is the role that the elite and the rich and powerful in our country should play in transforming the country. But I will not just write the book and stop at that. The book is going to be written, but more importantly than that, we are going to start movements all over the country whereby we are going to prick the conscience of every person that is privileged, rich, powerful, or counts himself as an elite. We are going to reveal and unveil to the whole populace, not just to the elite themselves, but even to the poor and the underprivileged, what to expect from the elite. Then we are going to educate the society at large for them to be socially active in demanding from the elite for them to play their roles. And we are going to shame the elite into acting. And we are also going to make the ordinary people who are all around who are the underprivileged in the society, we are going to make them to be able to know how to treat and relate to the elite who are abusing their positions. And then we are going to make the elite themselves to go and start movements, NGOs and movements in educating each other and, about the role of the elite. Okay, we have some clubs like, right now, what the elite in Nigeria are doing. Like, for example, we have clubs like Lions Club. That's an elitist club. We have clubs like Rotary Club. That is an elitist club too. So all those clubs, what they are doing right now is to meet together, to have some parties, and then to do projects. So they are fixing road, bus stops, and maybe one hospital, and then. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is starting a whole movement. By the time we do like 100 or 200 or maybe 1,000 civil society groups all over the country that are only hammering on one thing, waking up the conscience of the elite and shaming the elite into their social obligations, then you begin to know that Nigeria has changed. Something has started. So that's just one book, The Role of the Elite in National Transformation. The other book that's going to address that particular problem of the rich and poor in Nigeria, the rich and powerful in Nigeria, is going to be called Changing a Nation Through Personal Responsibility. Changing a Nation Through Personal Responsibility. It has also been written like a manuscript, but it has been written, but it's not on the level. So I have to upgrade that book as well. And those are the two books that are supposed to wake up the conscience of the rich and privileged in Nigeria. And personal responsibility is about taking personal responsibility for the redemption of the land and for the restoration of the economy, for the renewal and fixing of all the problems that we have in the country, instead of waiting on the government. Right now, what the elite and the powerful and the rich people in Nigeria are doing is just to secure their own themselves. They make provision for their own comfort, and then they go to the television and debate. So Nigerians are experts at talking. So everybody knows what is wrong, but everybody is just talking about it. I want to introduce another culture, a culture that will discourage people talking. I want to make all those talk shows unpopular. I want to begin to introduce other talk shows that will only square in on solutions and on practical, applicable solutions. I want to totally eradicate from our society that culture of just talking about things that are wrong without really, before you could even be qualified to talk about it, you've got to tell us what you are doing first. And that's number one. Number two, we've also got to stop the habit and the custom of finger pointing. Our society is full of people who are just pointing finger that this is to blame, the president is to blame, the parliament is to blame, the politicians are to blame, every other people are to blame apart from themselves. Mm-hmm. And we want to introduce a new culture that will be able to embrace personal responsibility. Our country doesn't know or are almost unfamiliar with the concept of personal responsibility. At least if some individuals might know, but it's not a value and a concept that is totally and absolutely embraced by the larger society. So this book is supposed to bring this to the mainstream of the Nigerian society and start movements in every quarter, looks and corner of Nigeria, so much that we'll be able to know that personal responsibility is going to be our watchword. We are all going to become, aware about the personal responsibilities of every individual, of every Nigerian, not just the rich and wealthy, and not just the people in government, but every other person in the country. So that by the time we, establish that value, and we are able to use media and mass communication strategies and social media and public campaign awareness, by the time we instill that into the culture itself and into the mindset of the Nigerians, the concept of personal responsibility, the country will be fixed. So those two books are key in resolving that problem.
Okay, the question about what plans Dr. Sunday has for the rich and the wealthy, the powerful in Nigeria with regards to the Nigerian Transformation Project. Answer is 2 books. The first title is
The Role of the Elite in National Transformation.
Yes. 1 second. Right. The Role of the Elite in National Transformation. And the second one is Changing a Nation. Changing a Nation Through Personal Responsibility. So those 2 books will be used to minister to the elite to wake up their conscience. That's what Dr. Sunday said.
Minister, these are just to release the program. If they are like the master plan of how, I'm unleashing the answer. And then we are going to set up systems and movements to be able to popularize that and, make it be the watchword in the mouth of everybody.
Okay. All right. So one thing that I remember Dr. Sunday saying just now is that the rich, especially in Nigeria, they don't know the purpose of their wealth, the purpose of their money, their position. and they need to be educated. They need to understand what the purpose is. And if they choose not to, the word was they will be shamed to do something, to take action. So again, this is actually another question that is actually worth reviewing and learning from. If you're there, if you're out there, you're rich, you have wealth, start considering what you can do now. NGOs, an idea of what you can do. The money that you have is not just for you and your children, it's for you to change your environment, change your nation, change the world. So understanding the purpose of your wealth, I think this is really key to this answer. And, even if you're not so wealthy, understanding the purpose of what you have, it's really important. Okay? So, I see that Dr. Sunday Adelaja is fired up to answer the Nigerian Transformation Project this evening. So,
I don't care. Anything you have there, please. I'm at your mercy.
Okay. Somebody asked that, Pastor Sunday, do you cry sometimes? He said he doesn't care.
I just wonder what that will give that person.
Just to show your humor.
Yeah, I just wish to know how that will help that person. But for your own good, if it's going to give you peace and it's going to make you fine, if that answer will help you anyhow, then I would like to say I cry all the time. I cry at least once a month, sometimes more than that. But I don't just cry, I weep for many reasons. And that's why, because I cry is why I wrote the book, Insulted by Ungodliness.
Okay, the crying.
The next question will be, why are you crying?
The study says, why you cried? You already said that he cries because he weeps. So he's insulted by ungodliness. He weeps about what is happening in the nation, in the world, how people, promote God in the wrong way. So that makes him cry. If you don't already know what insulted by ungodliness is about.
There are many things that make me cry.
Okay.
The number one thing that makes me cry is worship. When I'm in God's presence, worshiping and personal relationship with God, just being in the presence of God and His relationship with God, I could be overwhelmed by Him and His presence. So that's number one, the thing that makes me cry. Number two thing that makes me cry, I weep, is I don't want to refer to a particular example or instances because there might be many, many various instances and examples. There might be many, many things responsible, but basically, let me define it as this. I cry and I'm forced to weep each time I see a situation that basically I know could be resolved, and I know that they could be addressed. Plug it somewhere. I know that it could be resolved or addressed, but people are suffering as a result of it, and it's not being addressed. Many things. Okay, for example, I cried when I saw, last time I cried, let me tell you, maybe this, I think it's going to be very difficult. Let me give you a few of the examples of what made me cry. The level of ignorance in the churches make me cry. The gullibility of my continent makes me cry. Another thing that makes me cry is men of God. Men of God that are leading people, people believe them and are powerful, but who are walking in darkness and in, for me, from where I'm coming from what I know, those men of God are enslaving people, they are killing people, and people are celebrating them. And people think they are men of God, they are the best, they are next to God. But would have set up a system that is totally against the nature of God and the mind and heart of God. But they are not saying it. How I will not cry? How will I not cry? Saying that. Another thing that made me cry of recent was when I watched the documentary film about Thomas Thomas what was his name? Sankara, Thomas Sankara, Rawlins, Samora, and Samuel Nojoma. So I watched all those documentaries like in 2 days, and I cried for my continent. Another thing that made me cry of recent is when I saw the way America is going down the hill and the hope of the forefathers and the departure from that, how far the country has gone. I cried. But I also cry a lot when I think about the magnitude of the work that I need to do that is ahead of me. And how I feel sometimes powerless and limited. That also makes me cry. Yeah, I think that's enough.
Okay, guys, we started this question with, like, I'm not even going to answer it. What is it going to do for you? But obviously, there's something in there. So thank you for the person that asked this question. What do you cry? Yes, he cries. He says, Dr. Sunday cries. And not for the reason that you think, not because somebody took his sweets, okay? It's for other reasons, and they're so deep. So I wrote some of them down. I'm going to try and list them for you now so that you would understand. Maybe you will cry for a good reason as well. Okay, not because you're hungry, you know. So, one, I cry, and actually he said he weeps. He weeps when he's in the presence of God. So when he's praying, and he's praying about something, I don't know, but he prays and he weeps. Okay? And he says, first also he said that he cries several times a month, at least once or twice a month. And then he said he could be overwhelmed when he's praying. So that's quite common. I think people do that generally. But this one, the next few ones I'm going to list. I cry when I see situations that could be resolved and people are suffering over that situation. That really touched me while I was listening to it, because I was laughing at first as well. But just listening to that, I cry when I see situations that could be resolved and people are suffering for it. What kind of compassion is that? You know, I block situation out of my head when I see people suffering from it, but he cries. So somebody that cries obviously would look for solutions. So that's amazing. And then there's another one, the level of ignorance in our church. Don't even let me out on that, okay? So let's just leave that. The level of ignorance of our church. Read Mountain of Ignorance and other books by Dr. Sunday, but the level of ignorance, I could scream. So that also makes him cry. The gullibility of his continent, so the gullibility of Africa, you know, that honestly got me thinking. There was just alarm bells ringing in my head, that how gullible are we, you know, how gullible, you know, the word gullibility got me really thinking that we are gullible people. So that's really key reasons, you know, it's not just crying, it's crying for really depth, profound reasons. I can't believe this. And then there's something else, men of God, another reason why he cries, when he thinks about men of God who are enslaving people and people are celebrating. You know, that honestly, another one that is related to church, I can't deal. So let's move on quickly from that, because I can't deal with it.
Of course, the men of God are not aware that that's what they're doing. They don't know. They think they're serving God. They are sincere in what they're doing. But, you know, people could be sincerely wrong. And even the people don't know. They think they're the men of God. So people are good people, but what they have done, what they have set up without them knowing, is anti-God.
So guys, you've heard that. You know, Dr. Sunday is even giving them excuses. But hey, who am I to say anything? You know, I would say that they know.
By the way, you are supposed to start your own crusade.
Yeah,
you know, this is not my. You know, by the way, has her own opinion, right? She has her own opinion, and she says it sometimes. And I'm sure there are some people who are not happy because of the way she talks. So, if you want to start your own crusade against religion and pastors and church, make you start your own crusade. Though. My own is, you know, just the way I say it. Yes.
I'm not going to laugh, but you know, some of you got exactly what you want, so enjoy it, okay? So that I'll leave it aside, okay? Next time. There's another one. He said that he cried when he watched some documentaries. The only person that took the name is Thomas Sankara, okay? I'll check that person out. I don't know who it is. Rolling, and then another Thomas. I don't know who they are.
You don't know who is Jerry Rollins?
I don't know. I don't have any idea. Okay?
You don't know who is Jerry Rollins?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
And the other one is not Thomas. Is what do I say? Samora.
Okay, Samora, Sankara, and Rollins.
Yes.
And then there's another guy, Rollins. And then there's another guy. You know, he watched documentaries about them, and that made him cry. So I will check them out. I don't know, okay? So then there's another one. When I saw the Americans going down the drain, I laughed. I was laughing in my mind when he was saying this one. But I think it's all because of Donald Trump. But it might not be because of Donald Trump. Who knows? But,
this was before Donald Trump.
Oh, actually, it was before Donald Trump. So, Mr. Donald, it's not because of you. Apparently, America is going down the drain before you.
My wife is in our own world.
I'm sorry, Mr. Donald, okay? Nothing against you. You know, I actually like you, so no problem at all. And then, when I think about the magnitude of work for him, you know, this is serious as well. The magnitude of work ahead of him, and the fact that he feels powerless and limited at the moment. So when he thinks about that, that makes him cry. So wow, this is this is all very touching for me. Even though I am laughing, there are really deep reasons for to cry, and most of these reasons are not reasons I ever thought about. The reasons to cry. It's not even. It's not for.
You cry for different reasons.
Yes, I do. I cry when I don't get my way or something, but this is really deep, and it's really actually helping my brain a little bit more. Every time I get brain surgery in this session, I'm really going to miss these sessions a lot, and I'm going to miss you guys, but I'm sure something else will come up. And anyway, in the next few days, it's party time, so I'm looking forward to. So I'm also looking forward to party, and also you guys joining us. Okay, because we started again this next session, so I think maybe we should go on with a couple more questions. So this person asked, do you have any day you regard as the most joyful day of your life? If there is, what made that day unique?
Have you seen my wedding picture, my wedding video? That's an interesting video. That video might answer the question for you. I have it on my YouTube blog, Sunday Adelaja YouTube channel, Sunday Adelaja Official. There are two of them. One is just 1 hour. Don't bother about that one. Watch the one with 3 hours, if you have the time.
Okay.
Yes, watch the one with 3 hours. If you don't have time, if you are really stressed of time, you could watch the one with 1 hour, but the one with 3 hours will answer that question for you.
Okay. Yes, Dr. Sunday have a day that it was really full of joy.
I didn't say that.
Well, that's the question, sir. That's the question. The question was, do you have a day you can regard as the most joyful day of your life? And you said your wedding day. Okay, do you want to answer that again?
No, I don't. I just answered it the way I answered it, not the way you are interpreting it.
But that's the question.
I had the question.
Okay.
I said I have a video on my YouTube page, which is the video of my wedding. I said, did you ever see that? If not, go to see it. Go and look at the 3 hours one. But you don't know what is going to be inside. Even if it's my wedding video, but you don't know what is going to be inside, you see.
Yeah, okay. All right. The answer to this question is in the video. The 3 hours one is recommended on YouTube, which is Sunday Adelaja Official. I'm not quite sure what the playlist is, but I will find that for you and I'll put it in the comment section. So if you watch the video about Dr. Sunday Adelaja's wedding day, and you will find a video, 3 hours and 1 hour. Watch the 3 hours and you will find the answer to that question in it. Okay? I tried for you. Okay. Let's make this last question. Is that okay? Even though there's some questions here. All right. This one says, I think this one is related to Nigerian transformation. It says, what about Pastor Sunday Bible School? I think
the question is not clear enough.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's move on. Right. Okay, this one says, DSA, if you were in any of the Arab nations, how would you go in terms of speaking about the gospel of the kingdom, not forgetting the strict law they have?
It will be easy. It's going to be easy not just for me, but it's going to be easy for anybody whose mindset has changed about preaching. For me, and about ministry. For me, I've been taught by the Lord Jesus Christ himself and by my life experience. I've been taught that preaching is not ministry. And I've been taught that teaching the Bible is not ministry. I've also come to the understanding that standing by the pulpit to minister, that is not ministry. So how do you minister in the Arab nations and still be effective and still minister Jesus? It is by knowing that to minister Jesus you don't need a pulpit, to minister Jesus you don't need Bible, to minister Jesus you don't need to teach, to minister Jesus you don't need to have prayer meetings, to minister Jesus you don't need to wear a suit, you don't need to have a crusade, and you don't need to have evangelism. And you will still have, I will still be as effective as I am in Ukraine if I'm in Saudi Arabia. And anybody can still be like that too. So how do you do it? That's why I will advise all of you to go listen to my message, How God Bust My Theology. It's on YouTube there. So, but let me give you a few keys. To minister effectively in the Arab world, Saudi Arabia, and without your head being cut off, and without you going to life, to prison for life, you've got to ask yourself the question: how can I reveal God and preach the gospel such that I only use words if it is necessary? That is Saint Francis of Assisi who said that. Preach the gospel at all times, everywhere. And if necessary, use words. That man has a depth that God, I've been privileged, that God has taught me. I've been privileged by God. I've been favored by God, and God has revealed that same secret to me of preaching the gospel without ever opening your mouth. Only if it is necessary you can use words. Until you learn to preach the gospel without necessarily using words, you don't really get it yet. So, but once you get that, and you have understanding of ministry without words, without using words of preaching or doing all your religious stuff, then you know it's easy to bring Christ to Saudi Arabia or any other place. One, you must understand that ministry is about what I spoke about a few minutes ago. Ministry is not pulpit, it's not preaching, it's not teaching, it's not carrying Bible, it's not wearing suits. Ministry is the ability to touch people with God's love. Ministry is the ability to cause people to experience the touch of God's divine love. If necessary, you could use words to do that. Like now, I'm using words to make you feel the touch of God's love. That's when it's necessary. If necessary, use miracles to do that. If necessary, use teaching to do that. You see, I never even carry Bible in my teachings, in my live broadcast. I never even use open Bible. And I'm talking forever, almost. For thousands of hours, and I don't even open Bible. I don't even carry book. I don't even carry anything. I don't even open anything. If necessary, we could teach, we could preach. But the ability to make people to experience God's love That's the essence of revealing Christ and the essence of ministry. For example, Jesus defined ministry when he said, I was sick and you visited me in the hospital. You say, you didn't preach, but you visited me. Love. I was naked. I, not somebody. You didn't preach to me. But you clothed me, though. The Good Samaritan, he couldn't have preached to that man because he was not a preacher, he was not even a Christian, but he revealed more God than the priest that passed by was ready to preach. And the Levite as well. Could you carry the gospel? Could you minister without ever opening your mouth? I would still be as effective as I am right now. Because I'm not even preaching in Ukraine anymore. Once a month I go to church to preach. I'm not preaching. I'm just living in my house. I'm just hanging around, laughing and enjoying myself. That's the only thing I do around here. That's the only thing. I'm not preaching. Do you see me with my Bible here today? Did you hear the sermon, the message, the title? Did you hear it? See, I've been talking for 4 hours tonight. Not just with her, before her and all that. Have you seen me say this is the title of the message? It's not necessary. That's just one instrument. Number 2, for you to be effective in a country like Saudi Arabia, and be as effective as in any country, I don't even know why you feel it, the difference. Maybe just like I used to feel it when I was a younger believer, when I just came to the former Soviet Union. I used to feel I was in communism. But after God taught me, it doesn't matter anymore where I am. There's no difference. Either in communism or anywhere, it's just the same. Next point, you must learn to become a God carrier. That's a whole different skill. But I spoke about that, and I taught on how to become a God carrier in my series on YouTube that I spoke on, where I spoke on prayers and the kingdom. You will see how you'll be able to reveal God and carry God without even preaching. So you need to become a God carrier and a kingdom imposer. And people will still be getting saved without you preaching.
Okay.
Do you think I'm true?
No.
But you were just... I thought you were just about to switch the video back.
I was, but when you said that, then I rethink.
Okay. You reversed that. Well, if you think it's okay, it's true for you.
No. Please take your time, sir.
Shooter.
No.
Miracle girl.
No.
Miracle.
No.
Okay. If you say I can continue, I will continue.
Please continue, sir.
So I've told you about having the understanding of God's love and how to use it to touch people and transform people. I've told you about having the understanding of ministry. What ministry is. I was naked. I was in prison. And I've told you about number 3. What did I say? Last one.
2. It's how to become a God carrier and a kingdom imposer.
Yes, and how to become a God carrier and a kingdom imposer. Number 4. You must learn how to use the instrument of compassion. Through that instrument alone, you can keep on carrying the gospel, preaching it, without ever talking. Number 5. You must, for you to be able to preach the gospel in the Muslim world without even preaching, you must become a friend of God. Why do you need to become a friend of God? Because He will speak to you. Like when I was in Canada, in the park, and I wanted to preach, they said it's not possible to preach there because it's not, it's not nice. People would talk, we are fanatics, and say, okay, good. But then I was going there, and somebody came to me to take photographs for them, group photographs. They were giving me their camera that I should be taking photographs. I said, okay, no problem. So you must have a servant heart. That's another point right there. But apart from having a servant heart, but you must also be a friend of God to be able to hear God. So God spoke to me. You were in an accident 30 years ago. And for 30 years, that leg, that kneecap has been broken, and you've been troubled. It has been troubling you. You don't believe in God, I know, but I'm going to remove it right now. It doesn't have to be about God. It's about hearing the Spirit of God. The hearing the voice of God. So God will give you strange instructions if you are a friend of God, if you hear His voice. And just follow those instructions, everything will be okay. Then the last point, you need how to preach the gospel without preaching, is you need to be a man of signs and wonders, a man of miracles. You must know how to bring the presence of God down to create any miracle necessary in any situation. So I think I have given you 7 points. Those should be enough for you.
Okay, guys. This one is another interesting one. I really love these sessions, especially when people are around as well, and we're all here together. And also, of course, with you guys, because I love them. So let me summarize this for you. So the question was, how do you preach if you were in any Arab country or nation? How would you go in terms of speaking about the gospel of the kingdom, not forgetting the strict laws they have? So Dr. Sunday started the answer with, how can you reveal God, with a quote, or how can I reveal God and preach the gospel, such as I only use words if necessary. So that's a quote that he started with. And he went on saying that only speak if you have to. That's what the quote is saying. And then he also said that you should watch his video or his teaching on how God birthed my theology. That's on YouTube, Sunday Adelaja Official. So check that out. And then he gave us a list. And the list started with ministry is not pulpit. So ministry is not about being in pulpit. I don't want to mention the C word. Pulpit. I don't want to mention the C word because it's offensive. Okay. It is the ability to touch people with God's love, to experience God's divine love. Okay? And he started, then he went on and quote some of the scriptures where he says, I was sick, you looked after me, I was hungry, you fed me, I needed clothes, you clothed me. So he quoted all those things, that those things had nothing to do with being in the pulpit. It was about the love of God that was shared. And it was nothing to do with words or preaching. So that resonated in my head. And then secondly, he says, to be effective in any country, you must learn to be a God carrier. So you must carry God with you. carry the nature of God, the love of God. So it's still about God and showing people what God really is, what God looks like in reality. And then it went on to say how to become a God carrier and a kingdom imposer. So you just don't carry God, but you have to be somebody that imposes the kingdom of God and learn how to do that. And then it says you must learn how to use the instrument of compassion. You know, that's really key. I think sometimes we forget about being compassionate. Even as Christians, we don't have compassion for other people. And it's something that we need to always understand, learn, and demonstrate. Not just talk, but demonstrate. All of these things has to do with action. So it has nothing to do with just saying or reading the Bible. It has a lot more to do with your action. And then it went on to say, you must become a friend of God. Gosh, that's really key for me. And how do you, being a friend of God would enable you to be able to listen, to hear God when he speaks. So you can demonstrate him. You must have a servant's heart. Then he told us a short story when he was in Canada, what happened there, that he was told that he can't preach in the park, but some people came to him and gave him cameras saying that, take our pictures. I thought, okay, that's also related to servant's heart, being able to do that. He took the camera and then God spoke to him because it was a friend of God.
Servant's heart is also one of the points, though.
Yeah, it's also one of the points. It's related to that because, you know, just taking somebody stranger's camera, even though you can't do what you needed to do there, and then God spoke to him about the person, that there's an injury that he had some years ago, even though he's not a believer, he's not a Christian, but this is what God is going to do and he's going to be healed. So even though he couldn't preach, he was still able to serve and was still able to hear God. So that's important. And then he went on to say, you need to be a man of signs and wonders, a man of miracle. So guys, I think everything that could be said today, it has been said. I hope.
But that is, for example, when...
Hold on.
That is when you cannot use words, right? So that you don't get into trouble. But what about how much more privilege and opportunities you have when you can use words? It's just like Sweden. I was in Sweden one time and somebody told me that they have an average of one conversion in 11 years. That's the average, or in 6 or 11 years, maybe 6 or 11 years. One salvation is 6 or 11 years. I said, that's the average, you know. You could have many today, but then dry past church. Past church. I said, okay, it's good. I think, yeah. I said, good. I said, while I'm here in this your Sweden, I am going to get somebody saved every day. So, you know, I'm here for 4 days. In these 4 days, everybody, you people are with me, right? Everybody will be saved. People will be saved every day. And now that was a problem because I was having meetings from 10 o'clock in the morning, then, you know, little breaks, then 10 o'clock until 10 o'clock at night. So where would I even find unbelief? I don't even, because they put me in the car, they take me to the meeting, take me back to the hotel. You know, so it's a problem on how to get even unbelievers. I said, okay, no problem. But I had a habit of waking up early in the morning. So since they were coming to collect me at 9:30 or 9 o'clock. So I would go out 7 o'clock in the morning. Because normally I would pray in my room, but because I needed to get people saved, so I said, okay, I'm going to do prayer walk this week because I must get people saved. I told them. But luckily enough for me, they had good cemeteries in what is it? Burial ground? What you call them? Yeah, cemeteries. You have good cemeteries in Sweden. Very beautiful. The flower, the grass are green and well cut. Even wow, beautiful. And the graves, I mean the tombs, they are very neat and well kept. But it's like a park. You know, it's just like a park, like church, old church. And they spark of graves all over. So, so I said, oh, that's a good place to go and pray. So that was the place I went to go and pray. But I was just sitting down, praying and walking and looking if anybody would come around. Luckily enough for me, people were coming to that graveyard as park. But they used to just come to sit down around, just sit around and just breathe here. People in the morning, for example, going to go and were leaving their whole house just to go with a dog and just going through the park and breathing air. Wow, in the nose. Nothing to do, just to breathe here. I mean, spend your whole life just to walk the street and breathe here in your nose. That's the most valuable thing they could do with their time. Anyway, so while I was there praying, there was this young girl, the first day came, 19-year-old. And when they're 19-year-old, it's like they don't care for religion or anything. They're so Swedish. So anyway, I approached the girl. She said, I don't speak English very well. Okay, I don't speak English. So I began to talk, but she spoke English. She was not to understand. So I said, what is that? Can you read what is in the graveyard? No, not graveyard, in the tomb? Yeah. So she read it to me. I said, how long did it? He said it. I said, when are you going to be there? Then I said, did you see that? Because what I saw there is, they are writing things. Andres Anderson, for example, carpenter. This painter. this architect. That's what they write there. And then they put the year. Born 1952, then they put dash. Dash 82. So what is dash? Empty. Life without meaning. Minus. So I was explaining that to her. By the time I finished, I didn't even say cries or anything. She began to cry. I said, pray after me. That was one. So before I left that city, in 4 days, 11 people got saved. Because another day I didn't in the burial ground, not everybody was coming, in the cemetery. So they took me to eat. Because they were taking me to a restaurant to eat. You know the way they do restaurant. But restaurant, they have young people who they're always running to bring food. So I said, wow, do that thing again. What did I do? I said, you just smiled. He said, yeah, did I smile? I said, yes. Can you smile again? I love it. I love it. You look so beautiful. Can you? I said, fine. No, you Swedish people, go and see this girl. Look at her smile. Let her smile for you. He said, oh, yeah. I said, good. Is it true? Yeah, it's true. Give me another smile. By the time I was through, I was getting her saved. But then the boss came and said, oh, don't disturb him because she has to work. It's time, everybody, other people are working. I said, no problem. I said, you too. He said, he's a man. But so I started telling him some things. And this and this. By the time 2 other workers came, 4 of them got saved that day. So I got 11 people saved. And they were telling me they needed 6 years in the average for one to be saved. So what I'm saying, if you can talk and you can smile and all those things, you can even get more people saved than in Saudi Arabia. That's what I think.
Okay, guys, you got in-depth answer on how to get people saved. And if you've got all the tools that God has given you,
both in Saudi Arabia and not Saudi Arabia.
Anyway.
I have gotten people saved before in America, just riding from the 14th floor in the lift to the 1st floor. Another person I got saved in Australia, riding from 9th floor to 1st floor. In the lift, in the elevator, that is. 1 minute, got saved. Yes. That's why those principles are important. Carry God. Talk God's love. Touch people with God's love. Have understanding of God's ministry. Be a friend of God. be a God carrier, a God carrier, a kingdom revealer, establisher, those things shouldn't be tough. They shouldn't be difficult.
Okay, guys, you've heard it all here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm very grateful.
My birthday is tomorrow. I need to go rest.
Yes.
People are coming here from tomorrow. You begin to hear noise, all kind of things. So before they wake me up in the morning, I will still not go to rest because I still need my 3 hours of self-education to do before I go to bed.
Okay, guys, don't go and copy 3 hours self-education tonight. So you go to bed because tomorrow.
I'll come there.
If you want to, please, go ahead. But I'm just saying, tomorrow is party time, and you need to be, energetic. So from tomorrow to Sunday, party. Dr. Sunday is going to do self-education now. But
you are concerned for them, huh?
Yeah. I need you to be, But we are going to party. So I'm keeping calm so that I have energy for tomorrow. I appreciate you all. I love you for joining us, and I love you anyway. I'm going to demonstrate love to be the person that God wants me to be. I want to demonstrate love to preach the gospel, not to invite people to the C word. So, guys, you've heard it all today. Please do what you got to do. Remember, YouTube is your friend, which is Sunday Adelaja Official. Then you also have the blog, which is SundayAdelajablog.com. And we've talked a lot about Nigerian Transformation Project. Put /Nigeria if you want more information about that. And I hope to see you tomorrow, definitely. There's going to be a few interviews tomorrow. Please join us. As people are coming in, I'll try to blog them, or vlog them. Vlog them. I'll even vlog them in their room. How about that? I'm going to do that, okay? So I hope to see you guys.
But there have been some people who have come since today or yesterday. You didn't blog any.
Yes, I didn't because I was setting up.
Wow.
So have a look.
I just thought I should remind you of that one.
Maybe there's some faces that you will recognize.
You better take it out.
Yes, I think that's a better
unless
idea.
You want to, unless you are through with that.
No, not true. So guys, there's some faces you recognize. Hello. Oh, look at this big family here.
They just got to you. They missed your hand.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Right there.
So guys, here we are.
We could not forget about it. Anastasia and the family.
Oh, it's Anastasia Hyder. Queen
You have
A.
to since you decided to do that, you have to consider everyone.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Everybody here. Mini D is here. So guys, party. So it's party time now. What time is it now? It's almost to 12. So I can't keep calm. It's DSA Golden Jubilee starting in a few hours. I'm going to get a little nap and then come back all energized to party. I cannot wait. DSA is going to study for 3 hours, but I will be sleeping. So I will see you guys tomorrow.
Don't forget about Success's book.
Oh, yes. Okay, this is the author. Actually, let me just ask him to say hello to you.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There's a suggestion out there, right? Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to interview the author of Heroes. I don't know the rest of the title. It's too late. I'll get the titles for you. You know, I've already posted it on Dr. Sunday's page. We'll get the information, and we'll be talking to him before he leaves Agoba. It's Dr. Success Fakola Day. So we'll be interviewing him at some point, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. I doubt it. I'll be partying. So let me. I'll be interviewing him at some point. Probably tomorrow, but if not tomorrow, I definitely will. Okay. So thank you guys. Love you, love you, love you. And remember to share. I didn't even say my share. Okay, let me say that. Share. I know some of you like that. Share. Okay? Share. Bye. Thank you guys.